Hello and welcome to IETV. My name is Paula Virany. I'm multimedia editor for Investment Executive. I'm here today with Francis Tondrade, and we are discussing the top 3 myths, that's falsehoods, that people believe about their retirement. And we're going to try and turn some of that mythical thinking into realistic planning. So Francis, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Now, you have identified 3 of the most prevalent myths that people believe about retirement. So what are those top 3 retirement myths?
The notion that you can retire early, but as people have become aware of what's necessary, that's become much more of a myth. The second one is a start late, finish rich, and that one's very firmly in the myth column. And the last one we spoke of was the notion that you cannot own equities once you're in retirement.
So, what is the myth of early retirement, and is it a myth or is it at all possible?
Well, it's possible for certain people, and obviously that depends on things like lifestyle and their income and such. We're living a lot longer than we ever used to. We're living about 60% longer lifespans than we did at the turn of the previous century. So in 1900, the average life expectancy for a Canadian was in the 50s, and now it's 80, a little more than 80.
What does an advisor tell a client who comes in and says, I want to have an early retirement?
I think what you need to do is sit people down and change the narrative and get them thinking realistically about what is possible, and to have that discussion about potential longevity. You know, maybe look at people in their family and get a sense of that.
The second myth is that you can start late and finish rich. And in today's market, with high volatility and therefore high anxiety about investing, many people are tempted to wait and invest later. So what should advisors tell clients about this myth?
Well, this is bad strategy. You know, it's not a formula for success. And the main reason for that is because you're by starting late or delaying or procrastinating on retirement savings, you're in effect you're diminishing your ability to compound for compounding, which is in our category is the closest thing to magic.
The third myth is that you should avoid equities as you approach retirement. And again, as people approach deaccumulation, they tend to get more conservative, and they might want to move towards fixed income products that stay away from equities. Now, what can advisors say to a client who believes that equities are a bad idea when they're near to retirement?
I think you have to show, you have to give them context and maybe do some scenarios, run some scenarios with them and show them how this could work and what are the probabilities. But as with all these myths, I think the key is to get the clients real and get them to understand what they can expect. And the fact of the matter is many clients don't even know what they want to do in retirement. And the best device that I've ever had for that is I simply go and tell them to talk to people who are already retired. There's no more reliable device than it's called surrogation, and that's where you find out what is it really like, what does it cost, will I like it? And I've met too many people who've bought a recreational vehicle that sat in the garage before they sold it.
Right. So it's good old-fashioned mentoring, get the real deal from someone
go
who's
talk
there.
to somebody who's retired.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Francis.
It was a pleasure.
And for more information about how to tackle myths in retirement, you can stay right here on investmentexecutive.com. And you can just enter 5 myths of retirement in our search window, or you can go to the URL that's on the graphic below. So thanks again, Francis. I learned a lot today about how to keep real in retirement. And thank you very much for joining IETV.